stream, we're going to do a special presentation today of IYL3 Playoff Spotlight. My name is Leontes. I'm here with Mad King.
Yo.
And Bomber678.
Hello.
We're both involved in the playoff and tournament scene with Yomi as well as myself. Today we wanted to do something different. We're not going to be streaming any matches unless Mad King answers the call and decides to play against CPAT, like right now. Maybe we'll transition over to that if that happens. But right now we want to take a look at the matchups for International Yomi League 3's playoffs. We have the bracket set up already, and we're going to just kind of dig through some statistics, check out the matchups, see who's playing who, see what character matchups we're going to see, and just kind of give our best, do our best attempt to paint the picture of how IYL3 Playoffs is going to go.
Woo!
Yay!
Air horns, all that stuff. Alright, so first off, we'll just talk about the boring stuff, the rules. IYL Playoff 3 rule set is going to be a double-blind character select for each match. It's going to be mid-timer, hands-off. The chat is at player discretion, so sometimes players want to stay focused on these really, really important matches, and they want the chat off. So we're limited to. That's. I mean, I totally get it. I've seen those matches where it can get really intense, and sometimes the peanut gallery can get a little bit out of hand. I like it though. I like it while I'm playing. Like, what do you guys think about chat?
I generally don't mind it. I get annoyed if, like, it gets, like, really, really bad, but that happens so infrequently during my matches that it's hype. It's nice to have people be able to do that without having to, like, mash in, like, the main chat or something instead of the game chat. It's just more organic that way. It's like, I go to fighting game tournaments a bunch. If you can't deal with hype there in a Yomi event, then I wouldn't be able to deal with hype in a fighting game event without dying immediately.
He's not wrong. I like chat most of the time when they're all hyping up, and like I find I play a lot better, weirdly enough, when everybody's like hyping, because I tend to make those super risky plays that'll pay off, and like I play off the crowd's energy quite often, which is why I still won that stupid the Menoka versus Trock game versus Rujak. I regret nothing playing that checkmate bust. Death Strike Dragon.
Yeah.
So most of the time, yes, I love having the chat on, but that's my feel.
Yeah, and we're typically a pretty respectful community when it comes to nobody's in there like saying, oh dude, you should have played this, or why did you not go, he has 2 jokers in discard. Like, nobody ever, like, that's the kind of stuff that we know is completely unacceptable. But it's rare if that even happens, and I honestly haven't seen it in a very long time. Anyway, moving on, and I like the chat on. I like hype. Dragon Form's hype, so I can't really.
Oh yes.
Can't really argue against that. Best of 7 set. This is a very long set format. During the season we did best of 5s, which is pretty manageable. Best of 7 gives you so much opportunity to feel out your opponent, to kind of learn their tendencies, play around with matchups a little bit. And that leads to the final thing, standard counterpick rules. In any fighting game for the last 15 years, I believe this is how it goes. If you play a match, the loser gets to switch character if they elect to, and the winner must stay.
Longer than that.
Right. Back in the day when, in the arcade in Street Fighter 2, you couldn't change your character because you weren't putting a coin in. Oh, that Windows 7. Okay. Alright, so let's do a quick spotlight of the West Realm's top 4 players. So the way that our playoff structure worked this time around was we had 8 divisions. We actually had 100 signups. We didn't end up with 100 players at the end, but we had about 100 signups in the initial IYL3 signup phase. Separated everyone into 8 divisions. We had 4 divisions on the western part of the world, I guess you'd say, and 4 on the east. So we had a good chunk of strong players separated amongst all these divisional boundaries. And what we did was each divisional winner got a guaranteed top 1 through 4 seed. Then the second place, this is really confusing. It's easy when you know. The second place finisher of every division got guaranteed entrance to playoffs. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I'll just put it this way, they had to play a bunch of matches to decide who of the 3 of those players was going to make it to playoffs. And we end up with a situation where we have 4 matches in round 1 on the West Realm, 4 matches on round 1 on the East Realm, and then the top 4 players of each side get a bye. So these top 4 in this section here, in the West Realm top 4, these are players who topped out their divisions, took first place, and they are ranked 1 through 4, and they get byes in the first round. Oh, that's a mouthful.
They played well.
Yeah. Very well.
But the way that wound up working was that way, in case you felt like you were it's hard to be out of playoff contention. So if early in the season you start off like 0-3 and you're feeling like really depressed, oh, how am I going to make playoffs because all these other players are doing great? Well, you can finish in the top 5 of your division. Usually there's about 11 or 12 in each division, and then you'll still have a chance to make the playoffs. You just have to win out.
Yep.
Yeah, that also it led to the good old success stories of the people who in the, I believe, in Mad King's division, and we will talk about that later, where the Heart of Darkness, where basically there were like 5 people with the same win-loss record who were all fighting for those few playoff spots, and it became like a super tense scrum to get up there.
Yeah, that was messy. I was in, I believe, 7th place, and I wound up going into 5th place by winning out. So it was really messy. Any loss from any player could have immediately knocked them out of playoff contention.
Right. And then on the other note, too, is that, yeah, the divisions are typically around 10, 11, 12 players, so top 5 doesn't seem that tough to hit, right? But on the flip side, we also didn't want people getting comfortable if they were in first place. So say you start out with like 7-0 or something, you're like, oh, you know what, I'm pretty much guaranteed to make playoffs, so I'm just going to coast and I'm going to play weird matchups and I'm not going to give away any tech or whatever, right? Just going to take it easy. No, because you're fighting for that number 1 spot so you can get that bye in the playoffs. And also, if you don't take top 2, then you got to fight those people who scrambled up from the bottom. So it gives you a huge incentive, whether you're in first place or 10th place, to play your best. And so I really got to thank CKR for that that idea, because we had been doing like a top 4 gets in. And so there would be situations where it might even be beneficial for you to throw a match if you're in first, just to, you know, knock out a player, mathematically eliminate them that you're not interested in playing in the playoffs or something. Lots of shenanigans could happen. This way, it just kind of guarantees that everyone fights to the finish, and it truly was extremely dramatic in some divisions. So let's talk about the first our first player here.
Phoenix of the Ashes, I will say, probably of the people in West Realm, probably the person that came the most out of nowhere with the #1 overall record in the West Realm. I think it's safe to say that in West Realm, the top favorites to finish first would be Leontes and Raziek, because they are the 2 previous IYL champions. And I'm actually not sure. Was Phoenix of the Ashes in previous IYLs? I'm actually not sure if he was.
Let me just pull up his record, and I will find out for you.
Yep, thank you, sub-historian understudy Bomber.
Okay, let's have a look.
And just so you guys know, all this data we're taking is from Mystic Juicer's amazing historical matchup chart. So thumbs up, and thank you to Mystic Juicer for being our archivist and allowing us to even have these data points to talk about.
I can confirm he was not in IYL Season 2. I think the first event that Phoenix appeared in was, in fact, Y Tournament, which was held early this year. I'm not certain about that, but I think that was the first one that he entered, which was the Feature Film Festival fight from a while back. And he didn't play super well. I think he went 3-2, 2-2, something like that. And then he played in Summer Smash and entered IYL, and basically no one had really heard of this guy. And he just blasted through his division, like whoosh. Cannot be stopped.
He's a young guy too. I think he's a senior in high school right now, or something, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah,
so
that's correct.
I think it's great that he's one of those Nash Equilibrium players that we like to joke about sometimes.
Oh, that's true.
And he's very much so about the optimal play, and yet here we see, you know, if you want to talk about the bleeding edge efficiency of Yomi, because we have these discussions all the time on the forums, they're just endless. Rook?
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 Not truck. Rook.
Rook? It's like, okay,
Rook.
Phoenix. You wanna here's like almost a direct quote from Phoenix after I won the IYL3 Yomi Bowl was, yeah, you know what? Midori's still not that great of a character, but I guess you can't argue with results. Great job, Leontes. Like,
Rook.
cool. Okay,
Rook,
Rook
and also
guy.
playing Manelker against Valerie and winning that matchup as Manelker.
Yeah, so he does. He's one of those you know, card game type players. A lot of very value oriented play. I mean, obviously very strong. You know, we can't really count out the Antillermans and the Phoenixes because they just they play very tight Yomi. But Rook.
11-1. I want to say this was the best, not only the best record in West Realm, the best record, I want to say, period, for IYL in Season 3.
I think you're correct.
It was, he just played out of his mind and just destroyed his division.
Yeah, and that was Phylaxone City, right? One of the most dangerous divisions in the whole league.
It was pretty. All of West Realm was like some sort of powder keg. A lot of crazy stuff was happening throughout the season. So Phoenix gets extra points for remaining consistent through the bloodbath that was West Realm.
Right, let's move on to the number 2 seed, and that is Fra Arolo, and I'm super proud of this guy because he won Dragon Tail Veil. I mean, that out of all the people in that division, like, me and Riker talked about who we thought would be top 5, and we actually accurately predicted the 5 that would go. We did not think it would be Fra Arolo on top.
Known for playing Argagarg, and I think literally any matchup he could conceivably play Argon. I don't know if he even has a secondary. He really plays that seriously. He's been kind of working on Lum, kind of working on Trock, but he's been playing Arg basically since the dawn of time. He's also the younger brother of Malorian Thug. So I guess you could say a specialty matchup would be Argagarg versus DeGray.
Which, funnily enough, his in-season record for that matchup is 1-3.
Which is kind of funny.
Yeah, if you don't play DeGray, don't play DeGray. I think that's my rule, and maybe Fra's rule too.
I think he's in tournament. The only matchup that he consistently has problems with, I'm aware of, is Gloria at this point. But even then, against bad Gloria players, he'll still win.
I've seen him win that.
So the good news is for Fra is you don't have to think too hard about what character he's going to be picking. You just have to deal with the fact you just have to win your ARC matchup.
Yeah, you just have to deal with you're playing the best ARC there is.
Very defensive style ARG, definitely not in the vein of Hydro or myself when I played ARG back in Season 1, who were very attack throw heavy ARGs, only block with Bubble Shield. Fra will block for 2/3 of the game. He plays ARG as intended, for sure. He plays a very defensive ARG.
Yeah, and I mean that's Argagarg though, is like he can go Block City and make you throw him, and if you never do because you're so afraid of just getting poked out or getting hit by Blowfish or something, you know, it's if you live in terror of Fra's Arg, you're gonna have problems, and I think he really exploits that. Because I mean, I lost a set to him, Midori Arg. Again, that's a fight that me and Clan talk about a lot. Me and Clan Natoy, another resident Midori, I guess you'd say expert, if you want to call me one too. It's like Arg versus grapplers. Like you think that he's disadvantaged because he's a blocky guy and he likes to just relax and sit, and when he's knocked down his stuff doesn't work. It's like no, he will, like, Arg's ability to zone you out and to make you afraid to push the throw button is what enables his stalling tactics to work. And I lost to Fra because I was terrified of throwing. I just wanted to Dragon Queen him and beat his pokes and burst him out. You can't do it. You have to play the grind. And I'm very, very proud of him, and I'm impressed with his play, and I'm happy that one of my few losses was to him in IYL3.
Confirm or deny, the most heart-wrenching experience playing against Arg is having your Dragon Queen bubble shielded.
It's having it's having Dragon form up and having Arg have a bubble shield on. Whether it was GQ made that happen, and the reason why that is from a matchup standpoint, I'm talking too much about Midori Arg right now, but hey, it might come up again. The problem with that fight is, if he has bubble shield up and I'm in Dragon form, he can block 100% until I feel like wasting a king or an ace to remove the bubble shield, which is a huge amount of resources for Midori to want to spend in this matchup. Or I voluntarily normal throw myself out of Dragon Form. In a fight where Crash and Flow eliminates my abilities to get into Dragon Form sometimes, I want to hold on to Dragon Form as long as possible. So what it kind of means is that it's really hard for me to play DQ in this matchup, in neutral, in Dragon Form, in any situation, because Bubble Shield's a huge threat. But if all Arg ever does is poke you, at some point I gotta throw hands. And it's just Frost timing. I think the biggest thing that happened in that whole set was in like game 2, he threw my Dragon Form dodge or something, and it tilted me for the rest of the entire set. Like, I was so upset after that. I was holding a DQ in my hand that was like lethal, and he threw me, and that was it. He made like this amazing run back from like I had like 60 health to his like 10 or something. It was just that was like the turning point in the set, and he knows he's an Arg guy. That's how you win with Arg. Frustrate your opponent and make them make mistakes and punish them.
I've spent some time streaming and chatting with Mr. Arolo, and I'll have to say that he's definitely one of my favorites for coming out of West Realm, because he's a swell guy and he's all around funny and just a solid character loyalist. I love him. He's great.
Oh, yeah. Gotta rep my character loyalist buddies too. Speaking of loyalists, how about this guy? Do we expect to see him here?
Hey.
So, raise your hand if you had him finishing first overall in IYL and were wrong.
I was wrong.
No, not for this one. No way.
Not for did you put yourself for this one, or?
No, I wasn't going to put anyone down for certain, because this IYL, with nearly 100 signups, and it was so stacked with so many good players, I wasn't going to count anyone out.
So, Razia came out of the hellhole that was the Heart of Darkness division at 9-2. I think he started the season 2-2 and then just didn't lose for the rest of the season.
Trust him.
It's a good strategy, and I highly recommend the don't lose strategy if you're trying to finish first.
Yes, he lost in round 1 and round 5, and then just decided not to.
Leontes knows one of the opponents that Razik lost to would be Crystal Wing Setsuki.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Crystal Wings is actually my girlfriend, and I have... If people always ask me, like, hey, where did that Setsuki come from? It's like, well, I train one in my pocket, all the time, and something big happened. Something big happened in week 5. So
yeah, and this has been like one of the matchups that people have been talking about is the Setsuki Zane fight, as far as who actually wins that matchup. I know during development it was generally considered to be Setsuki advantage. Then 5ek made his claim, which I think he's gone back on a little bit. That was something like 8-2 Zane favor or something like that. But at this point, this consensus, it's the most disputed matchup at the moment in high-level play, whether it's Zane's advantage or Setsuki's.
Quick vote. Say what your matchup chart is. I say 5.5 sets.
5.5 sets.
I think I have a 5.5 Zane.
There we go, see?
Can't even get 3 people in the same call to agree with each other.
And the best part is, I play Setsuki.
Sorry.
Mad King dabbles in both, or just Zane, and Bomber plays Zane.
Hi.
It's like everyone's comfortable. Everyone's comfortable in the fight. I think, right? Like the people who play Zane
I feel
think
great.
It's okay.
I feel great when I play that fight.
It's a fun matchup. So, IYL 1 champion. IYL 2, I forget whether he went out in the second or the third round to you.
It was the West Realm Finals.
West Realm finalist in round 2. And in IYL 3, he is a bye. He is the Heart of Darkness division champion.
Yeah, and let's not forget that he also went undefeated in Season 2. Unprecedented.
Still holds that record, as no one did go undefeated in IYL 3, and no one went undefeated in IYL 1.
Several people tried. They all failed.
He has been playing Zane since the start of since the V2 development. He used to be a Valerie player as well. I think he still breaks out the character for the Vendetta matchup because he doesn't like that matchup as much for Zane, and he says I can win that matchup because Zane's a very strong character. But why would I want to put myself through a slight disadvantage or an even fight when I can just play my old character and almost always win that fight? And then he also has a pocket Bulbous Beta for strong chalk players. He says against weaker chalk players, he can just throw out 6s and 7s and 9s and just come out on top in that matchup anyway. lately his least favorite matchup that I'm aware of has actually been Onimaru. He's been one of the champions of Onimaru is this completely garbage, awful matchup for Zane. He's sort of been on that train a lot lately.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a really hard fight for Zane. Right, but yeah, that's pretty much all. Can't really say enough about Razik. Stellar competitor. Look at that all-time record, 61% win percentage. These are rounds, by the way. So this is like just dominating victories of like 4-0 on people and 3-0s in league matches and tournaments and such.
And also, in the most played, I want to say the most played matchup in tournament, or at least the most played mirror match, is Zane versus Zane, and he has not lost a competitive tournament set in that matchup yet.
Right.
Including recently a 4-1 victory over Riker into Panda League in that matchup.
Yeah.
I'll just put a note. According to the Mystic Juicer matchup chart, his all-time record in the Zane mirror is 18 wins and 7 losses.
Wow. A matchup that many profess to be a coin flip, and Raz is like, no, just get on my level. That's all I have to say about that. And Riker
get on my level,
challenged him.
I know all my jokers.
Riker challenged it, and he paid the price. The price was anarchy. All right, let's move to number 4. Rodok. This is like the lowest IYL record, right? That's a tough division. Like the fact that he took first with a 7-3-1 record.
Roto actually lives around my area as well. I want to say he lives around Saginaw, Michigan. I'm not entirely sure which city exactly, but he does live around Michigan. I have not met the man in person yet. I just know he plays Yomi.
Yeah.
He's been playing the Panda since as long as I've known him. I don't even know what his other characters would be. I just know he plays Lum.
I'll just bring that up. I remember in IYL2, he was in my division. I had to fight him, and he counterpicked carouseled me, actually. Yeah, alright, so on the chart, it says he plays a little bit of Grave, a little bit of Grey, a little bit of Lum, well, a lot of Lum, rather, a little bit of Armigard, and a little bit of Trock.
Okay.
That's pretty standard fare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't honestly. I've never played against Rodok. I don't have experience with the player, the man, the panda, and any of that. So I don't really have a lot of input on this one.
I do know he was one of the people who contributed to the Princess's matchup chart along with Red XT1 and Deluxe 917.
Oh, wow.
So
valued opinion.
Okay, so it's very much, I believe all the Lum numbers on there were his numbers. Or at least like he was in slight conflict with Deluxe possibly, but most Lum numbers were his, and they wound up with Lum tied for the second best character in the game with Zane, right under Trock.
Yep.
So he's definitely an unknown quantity compared to the other people on here, but obviously played well enough in his division to finish with a number 1 seed and therefore guaranteed bye. Yep. So we'll have to see more of him after round 1 is concluded.
Alright, so checking out round 1, let's start with the West Realm round 1 matches. So starting with seeds 8 and 9, we got Staryu versus Jushichi. And I'm actually really happy to see Jushichi actually make playoffs this time around, because he had like a heartbreaker finish to IYL2. I was not happy, because I'm a big Jushichi fan, honestly.
Mr. 17.
Yeah.
So, bit of a spotty tournament record, which doesn't really speak to his skill. He's definitely very knowledgeable about the game. He plays very similarly to how I do, actually. He was primarily a Setsuki player back in version 1. He became more of a Jaina player. He actually says that if he feels like if he had played any character but Jaina during IYL2, he would have made playoffs. But he did play Mono Jaina in IYL2 and finished 1 game out of playoff contention with Jaina.
Yep. Did he actually stop? I thought he gave up halfway through and then fought back and almost made it.
I don't remember. I thought he played Mono Jaina. So, and I remember he just got really upset after he didn't make playoffs. And he said, I could have just played Setsuki or Arg or somebody like that and been fine. Arg is a character that he does play that's not up there, at least in casual sets.
All right.
So, Staryu coming out second in Heart of Darkness. I that was actually the one person I didn't play. I was unable to schedule a match with him, and therefore I was forced to forfeit as he was more available than I was. So unfortunately, I don't have as much insight on him in an IYL sense. I have seen him around. He plays... Just putting Grave and BB up there is accurate. It's not the full picture. I think he plays almost the entire character select screen.
Yeah.
And then the winner of this will play Fenix of the Ashes. These people have not played head-to-head yet. I'm looking forward to seeing who Fenix brings out, because you would imagine I don't think Rook really likes the matchup against any of these 4 characters that much. Grave Rook is evenish, Jaina Rook is evenish, the robot's definitely no fun for Rook, and I think Jushichi says that grapplers are his easiest fight unless he's playing against Elostrak.
Yeah, like Jushichi talks about how Jaina is not necessarily a grappler counterpick, just because things can go wrong for you in a heartbeat, and I agree with that. I've tried to bring Jaina out as like a niche, like, okay, I'm going up against Mystic Juicer or Thelo. I like Midori, but I know I got some issues, and maybe I'll bring out Jaina. She rarely works for me. But it might just be my own mindset. Jushichi, obviously a much better Jaina player than me, but even he says that the Trog fight can just go horribly wrong, and she's not a counterpick. Who do you think we'll see in this particular matchup, though? Do you think it's going to be like a Grave versus Sets, or...?
Grave Sets is the safe early pick. I know that Ju and I have argued about the Setsuki Grave fight forever. I said back in V1 the fight was even. Dodge is great for Setsuki in that matchup. You win on throws. Your attack speeds aren't that bad outside of his own Queen, and his single ace are the 2 you really have to watch out for. And the other reason that Setsuki players aren't the biggest fan of that matchup is if you do hit with True Power of Storms, you just almost instantly die.
Yeah.
But Setsuki can just as easily run Grave over and never let him assemble it. I believe that if Staryu does start taking a lead in the set with Grave, that he will switch to Argarg in that fight.
And the Argarg Sets.
If he loses in Setsuki versus Grave, he will switch to Arg versus Grave. Is what I'm saying.
Jushichi will switch to Arg. Yeah.
I'm not sure who Staryu plays that specifically plays that counterpicks Arg, so we might even see an Arg lead from Jushichi.
Just to cover all possible options, yeah.
If we do, Jushichi's also known for not thinking that BB Jaina is as big of a counterpick as it seems, which I think is crazy. I think that matchup would be the most lopsided of the 4 characters we see up here would be Jaina versus the robot.
Yeah, I like that fight from the Jaina side for sure. Just too easy to keep him out with just anything spam. Fast J, Fast King, just recurring options that stuff range.
Bomber, what matchup do you think we will see?
Well, I was looking at the chart. I know it's not the super great indicator, but according to the chart, Staryu actually plays more Zane and BBB and Setsuki than he actually plays Grave,
really?
At least in the season play.
On season,
this is an overall map. I'm just looking at season play.
Okay.
So if I were to guess that he keeps playing the characters he has been playing, it's probably not unreasonable to expect he might even open with Setsuki.
Okay.
Or Zane, because Zane is probably pretty favored versus Setsuki and Jaina, and if he thinks he's good enough at Setsuki, he might play the Setsuki Mirror, and Setsuki, I think, pretty well beats up on Jaina.
Jushichi considers that either Jaina's worst matchup or second worst matchup along with Geiger.
Yes.
Okay.
But of course we might see, I don't know, Robot, who knows, or just safe pick Grave.
Yeah, it could just hype Robot pick and shock the world, right?
My pick would be, this is best of 7, I will take Jushichi in a 4-2 set win over Staryu.
Interesting prediction.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I'm a big Jushichi fan, though, so I'm gonna say 4-1.
4-1?
I think Staryu's too solid of a player to let it go. I think it'll be 4-3 Jushichi favor.
Okay, so it's 3-0. 3-0 for Ju, so don't let us down, bro. Alright, next matchup, CPAT versus Mad King.
Despite what that says, we do have a head-to-head record of 4-3. We have played in tournament exactly once. It was Summer Smash 1, and that was me playing I think I played characters that weren't Quints in the first game of the tournament, and then I played Mono Quints the rest of the way through. and my Quince wound up winning in that set 4-3 over his Setsuki. It is not in my best interest to say who I will be leading against CPAT, so I will refrain. But you can see my two primary characters in IYL have been Quince, and Geiger has actually been my carry for the last 3 weeks. He is what got me into playoffs. As far as CPAT goes, he is casual Pat. He plays Zane and Setsuki, and Jaina, and Valerie, and Trock, and basically any character you can think of, he probably has some tournament experience with.
Like he has like a self-proclaimed habit of just getting bored with the game, so switching characters at a whim is kind of a part of how he stays interested in the Yomi tournament scene. Like, despite being like a friggin' juggernaut of a player, like he's he's always like, yeah, you know, maybe I'll be here next week, maybe I won't, but I'll probably just counterpick you as hard as I can, just to have fun while I'm here.
So since I'm not going to say who I'm picking, and I'm not going to try to guess who CPAT's going to pick, who do you two think will be the tournament matchup here?
Look.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Look, I'm going to say there's like a really high chance in my eyes that CPAT's just going to play Zane, because he has like very good results versus Quince and Geiger in pretty much all of history. As I can confirm, I defeated your Quince with Zane, and Braziak will tell you that Zane Geiger is definitely a Zane favored matchup, so I think Zane is a super safe pick from CPAT. But at the same time, I get the feeling that Mr. Mad King over here will probably bring out a sneaky Zane counterpick to the table.
Okay. I see Zane coming out from CPAT for the exact same reasons. Just the Zane-Quince matchup, it's relatively swingy, but I think that Zane's options typically, like, they do kind of the same thing to each other. They knock each other down and then abuse the crap out of one another. So I think that in that situation, though, Zane has a much stronger mix-up that leads to a lot more damage and can be more easily assembled. So Zane, Quince, and, you know, not to talk about you like you're not here, I have seen a lot of Zane Quince Mad King sets where Zane has just been a huge problem in terms of, you know, huge, big, like, grand final tournament settings. So the Geiger fight, as well, as Bomber just stated, somewhat Zane favored as well. It goes... these fights are so interesting because Quince can put Zane in a mix-up that he can never escape. Geiger can somewhat checkmate Zane in certain knockdown situations as well. It just... Zane is Zane. And if Mad King doesn't prepare specifically for a Zane pick, he's going to have a hard time. He has his answer to Setsuki in Quince. That's a fight that, while very winnable for sets, Mad King and I have talked about at great length, where from a design standpoint, Setsuki's trading some of her raw damage power, like raw numerical damage advantage, for crazy speed. Quince doesn't care about your speed. He only cares about the option that you play.
Yeah.
So in terms of just raw winning combats, Quince's combat wins are far more valuable in the Quince versus Setsuki matchup than they are the other way around. And if Sets does not save her 7s and 8s, she can actually get destroyed by Kingspin. And with only 70 health and Quince's really big hit confirms off of normal attack, throw into clean pumps and stuff, Sets just falls apart in that matchup. It's totally winnable. All these matchups on the table right now can go either way. But I'm going to say, unless Mad King prepares specifically for this, CPAT wins this 4-2.
I'm not putting a prediction out. Again, it's not in my interest to do so. And it would be kind of I can't win either way. Either I'm egotistical because I predict myself to win, or I'm super self-deprecating, predict myself to lose, and then if I win anyway, people are like, oh, come on, you talk yourself down too much. So I can't win either way, so I'm not going to
just don't say anything.
If I were to put a prediction on this match, I would say probably CPAT favored.
It's a tough one. Is Bomber alive? Hello, hello. Oh, Skype's acting up. Sorry guys, looks like Skype's acting up a little bit. Let's see if we can get in on this. Or if it's me that's... Hello, hello, hello. Oh. Yeah, having Skype issues right now. Oh, and I guess chat says that music's too loud. I'm sorry, guys. Should bring that down. It's sad. So touchy. You see, like I'm just on the tiniest little. All right. Hello?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm in.
Are we good? Are we good?
I'm good. Yep. Mad King here?
Mad King. Oh, Mad King's computer crashed. Alright.
Okay. Sorry, we
That's
both separately died, or?
Yeah, no, I think Mad King ran the call. Or
Oh,
something.
he was the host. Oh,
yeah, and
okay.
then he blew up, and
Right.
so on and so forth.
That makes sense. Sorry, how much of...
Did not hear what you said in terms of what you think the matchup number is going to be.
Okay. Right. Yeah, okay, so... I can even say this while Mad King's not here.
Go.
Okay, so I think it's going to be 4-2 Mad King favor for the very simple reason that his Zane counterpicks are not up to scratch. His Troc play, it's just not good enough. Like, I've seen him play Troc, and he's just not as good as Deluxe. He's not as good as me when it comes to Troc playing. Like, I think that CPAP will just, like, steal a couple of games with Zane and then ride a carousel to win.
Okay, so you're saying 4-2 CPAT then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's my prediction.
All right. Let's
looks
keep
like
going.
Mad King's rebooting.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll wait for him to come back, but we won't wait for him to come back. Let's just keep moving.
Okay. You'll have to re-share screens.
Reshare screens, that's right. Okay. It's amateur hour over here, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. This is the first time something like this has happened, we swear.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you add him to the call when he gets in, because I don't know how that works. Unless I called you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he should be able to do it himself. It's pretty easy.
Okay.
Because I went to like jump in and it. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, you see it now, right?
Let's continue.
Jenga Jam versus Sharp Objects. This is going to be interesting. Sharp Object actually has 0 representation in tournaments and leagues outside of Gloria, where he rocks a 42 and 45 record, which is pretty par for the course for most Gloria mains. Against Jenga Jam, who's like, I mean, I'm looking at what I put on the screen for Jenga was Troc into Gray. He has so many more characters than that.
Oh yeah.
I could only fit those two. I put Troc into Gray on because there's 2 most played matches or most played characters in leagues and tournaments, but also because they typically tend to be characters that people counterpick Gloria with.
I'm not dead.
There you are.
So we're on Sharpo versus Jenga Jam. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and you conveniently did not get to hear Bomber's opinion on the previous match.
Oh, I'll look for it later.
Yeah, indeed. Okay. Oh, we missed one thing. And that's that the winner of this matchup plays against Rodok.
Okay, so winner of that fight gets a Lum fight. Awesome.
Yep. So back to Jenga Sharp.
Awesome.
And what I just mentioned before you came back was that Sharp only plays Gloria and Jenga plays 1,000,000 characters, and these 2 are his most successful currently, and they both do pretty well against Gloria.
Jenga also plays Grave, and yeah, he plays every top tier character. I believe he also plays Zane, so he plays pretty standard but good characters.
I remember him for his Rook. I've been destroyed by his Rook many times, and he's not ever played it in leagues.
He's old school, and people like forgot about him before IYL3 started, and then he sort of casually finished second in Summer Smash 2, which he ran.
It was pretty casual. He sent me down to fight Leontes.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah. It was like the winner's bracket. The loser of this gets to go and fight Leontes. Oh boy.
Yeah, I haven't been doing very well on those big double elimination things. Like leagues, for some reason, I do good. I don't know. It's a different environment. Maybe I think we get a much larger representation of our top tier player base in the big double elim tournaments. Like maybe the league stuff is a little bit long-winded for a few players, and maybe we, I'm not saying the quality of IYL is low or anything. We got ridiculous amount of talent in there. But I don't know. I don't do well on those big tournament things like the solo showdown and the Summer Smash. But things happen.
I will say that Frarolo plays the winner of this, and he probably, if I had to guess, wants Jenga Jam to take this one.
Well, Jenga Jam does have a Pocket Gloria.
Of course he does.
He has a pocket, everyone.
Oh,
he has so many pockets.
I will say Jenga Jam is my favorite in this one. I would say Jenga Jam 4-1 or 4-2.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Jenga's just going to play like a hard, like Troc or something to fight out Gloria. And probably is going to take it. Sharpo is a strong player, but I think not quite as strong as LK, and as well, good characters beat bad characters a lot of the time. Sorry.
Hey man, Gloria is that character that through sheer determination and will by a single man, LK404, has been considered the worst character in the game by a long shot, and now is considered like mid-high tier capable.
True. True.
I don't see Troc like just decimating Gloria because of all her knockdown options and 2.2 speed stuff. Like, she has to thread the needle and she has to play really, really great. It's just a lot of health to get through. I think Sun and Moon's a big part of the range in that matchup. Because 0.6 is really fast. Like I against Troc specifically, it's extremely fast. And Sun and Moon just leads to these big half health combos against Troc. Sharp can do it. I think he can do it. That said, I'm still gonna give it to Jenga at 4-2. But I will not be surprised to see Sharp take this either 4-2, 4-3.
Okay.
I'm rooting for him. You know what? Fine. Sharp wins it 4-3.
Whoa.
He calls the Twitch cops in and then busts Jenga Jam.
Yeah, that's it. Because I want to see Fra have to fight against another strong Gloria player and see if he deserves the right to call himself a mono arc player or a mono character in general.
If I had to guess, he will probably go into his pocket cow if he does in fact have to play Sharpo.
Yeah, so let's see that happen. All right, let's talk about this one.
Oh, hello, Leontes. There you are.
Yeah, Leontes versus Ball, and again, the head-to-head record is based on the Mystic Juicer matchup chart of online leagues and tournaments. I actually got to face Ball at FSX this year, where I ended up winning that, beating Ball, Philo, Hydro. I played Ball. He plays Arg and Geiger in addition to Troc and Lum. So he's another one of those guys who has a lot of characters in his pocket, and he picked Geiger specifically to fight me at FSX. So I kind of expect to see it happen again. So just my own thoughts. How does it always work with me? Am I going to play Midori, or am I so afraid of Geiger that I don't play him? We shall see.
That's a big number in the Midori wins column there.
Are you looking at my matchup numbers? Yeah.
I'm looking at it's a nice big number. We'll have to see. I think we will see a Leontes mono Midori. You were willing to go mono Midori against Unomis's Lum in last year's Yomi Bowl 2, and did pull that set out 4-2. Ball also does play Arg a bit. He plays several other characters. Arg is the one I actually remember him for, weirdly enough, more so than Troc or Lum. He plays the Animals team.
Yeah. Oh, this is Vegan Bowl 2015 then.
Yes, because you didn't eat all the animals, they're now all coming to fight you.
Right, and Midori's one with the Earth, so he's all right, I guess. Dragons are animals too, guys.
Oh
Never
boy.
forget.
The winner of this plays Raziek, and so if Leontes wins, how many times will this be Leontes fighting Raziek in tournament sets?
I think
It's like the fourth,
fourth
I
or
think.
fifth. I know it was...
I'll look
man.
it up.
Yeah, look it up. Look up my
Yeah,
all-time
so
So
record against
are we
Razik.
counting both of the ones from last year's Yomi Bowl where it was during the regular season and the conference finals?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Panda, which just happened.
No, it's
Leontes
kind of about to
versus-
happen.
Oh, about to happen, that's right. I thought it had already happened. My mistake.
Oh, it only gives me the raw matchup numbers, right? Of
Yeah,
course. But it is currently 8-6 Raziek favor.
Damn.
All Midori Zane.
I somehow I doubt we're going to see a change from that.
Well, here's a fun fact. In IYL3 West Realm Championship, I led Midori against Razik and I beat him 4-0. But when he put his back to the wall when I was up 3-0 and he stayed with Zane, I'm telling you guys, if I had dropped a game, I was going straight to Chalk and writing that out for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Scumbag
I was not
Leontes.
going to play around. That was a really important set for me to win. I ended up going on to win the Yomi Bowl, so I knew that once I got through Razik that was it. Maybe it'll happen again. If I beat Ball and I will play Razik again, then I'll go to the West Realm Championship. I have a chance at winning my second IYL Yomi Bowl Championship. So I have to get through Raz again, though. It's always going to be like that, I think.
So Leontes maybe already looking ahead a little bit.
Yeah,
Could
well,
get you in trouble.
Maybe I'm being a jerk right now. But
you might have to fight Jink Jam.
I will say I have Leontes winning this one, but I think it'll be 4-3.
Ooh.
I think if Ball bucks up his Geiger play, I think he stands a very reasonable chance. But he isn't known for being a Geiger player. I'm going to say Midori Trock. Midori favored. I don't think we're going to see that matchup. I think Midori Lum is probably likely to be what we see. And, well, both players would feel very comfortable in that. So I'm going to say tentatively Leontes Ball 4-3.
Okay.
So, as this is the last first round match in West Realm, who is everyone's West Realm favorite? And it can be yourself if you really want.
Okay, I'll start. Let's see. Given how the bracket's set up right now, I'm worried about having to beat Raz one more time to make it. So I'm gonna go and say I want Frarolo to win West Realm.
Frarolo to win West Realm. Is that your prediction or your want?
How many times are we gonna say like things like West Realm and Rest Realm during this cast?
Where's going West Realm?
Yeah, I think Fra's gonna do it.
Fra. I'm gonna be the boring guy and say Razik wins West Realm.
Look, serious prediction. I think Razik's very likely to take it. Who I want to win, Fra, definitely. I want Fra to win it. I don't think he will, unfortunately, because he does have to fight through Jenga Jam and Sharp Object, who both play Gloria, and even if he makes it through them, Raziek does play Zane, and Zane Arg is probably Zane favor. So Fra has a very hard road to make it out.
He had a hard road in Dragon Tail Vale, and he came out 9-2.
Well, yes.
West Realm, I think, is going to be a lot harder to predict than East. West Realm. So, one thing I'm not going to mention for Jushichi, he's the other 5 seed that made it out of his division and made it into playoffs.
That's right. We didn't actually talk about that.
Yeah.
So, him and I are the 2 success stories here of the playoff system. We were the 5 seeds that made it in through the play-in matches.
Yeah, knocking out like third place. Yeah, that's right. So the way that this worked, for more elaboration on how the bracket system worked, was the 4th and 5th place players in each division had to play each other. The winner of that match had to play against the 3rd place person in that division. Then the winner of that one got to go to the playoffs. So even in 3rd, you weren't guaranteed to stay. But Mad King took 5th and won both play-in matches and made it in. Jushichi also did the same thing.
So, notably, since Frarolo and Razik are the 2 favorites here, assuming they both win out, the furthest that they can get between both of them, one of them has to be knocked out in conference semifinals.
I see. Well, I'll do my best. Because I'd love a rematch with Fra at the end there. Because I barely slipped away. 3-2 in the regular season. So, all right. So is that it for West Realm then?
Yes.
I think so.
All right. Two votes for Fra. You can do it, buddy. We believe in the power of the fist.
Vote and a half for Fra, I guess. A want to vote for Fra. I think that Bomber's official prediction was Razic.
Okay, so,
Yeah,
so
I want Fra to win it, but I think he has a very difficult road.
All right.
It's going to take a lot if he wants to win this.
Right on. Okay, let's move on to the East Realm top 4. And this is my favorite slide in this whole presentation here.
So number 1 in West Realm was the Nash Equilibrium Rook player. Number 1 in East Realm is the robot.
The programmer of the website and
our fabulous webmaster, creator of the iOS versions of all the Fantasy Strike games, and just lead all-around great guy. Thello.
Can confirm.
Yeah, can confirm. Played against him at FSX. He's a great guy. Thanked him in person for doing. Without him, we wouldn't have an IYL. So everyone give a shout out to Thilo and give him all your love, because we wouldn't have any of this without this guy.
He's also my mentor. He was one of my first mentors in Street Fighter 2. I played a lot of the Honda when I first started playing, and that was his primary character in HD Remix. So I got to learn quite a bit about playing the character from him as well.
Awesome. And it's only fitting that he plays, BBB. And so let's just say hashtag Yomi Balance. Top rank in the East Realm, played by the robot. Considered by many to be the worst character in the game. But that doesn't mean a whole lot when your match record in IYL3 is 74% win rate with nearly mono BBB. Like, I think he switched to Troc a few times.
I'm just pulling up the numbers.
Yeah, go ahead.
Same once, I think.
Yeah, 10-1 record though, with mostly represented by BBB.
And whoops, I typed it into the wrong box. I tried to type in IYL3 as his opponent, which is not going to work out.
He won that opponent. I think he won that matchup.
Yes, I would say so. Alright, so yes, it appears he played, what have I got here? He played a little bit of Argagog, he played 3 games, he played 6 games as Troc, 19 as BBB, and 3 as Zane.
What?
19.
19. 13 wins, 6 losses.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And keep in mind, this is a division that had Deets, Mystic, Juicer, and Cap in it. It's not like he was playing softies.
Well, poor Mystic Juicer had to pull out the Valerie to deal with that BBB. I don't remember. I think he actually still got beat. Let me have a look.
Who beat Thilo then? Who beat him?
I'm not sure. I'm actually just checking that. Clan Shoy, of course.
Okay, fine.
The most notable exclusion from the playoff picture is Clan Nitoy. He did not make it in.
Yeah.
He ended up 6th in his division, unfortunately, so he didn't even get a chance to fight for a play-in.
Yeah, and talk about how harsh this entire season and league has been in terms of competition and within each individual division. Like Clan Nitoy, I put him, a lot of people talk about it. Is Deluxe or Clan the most successful player right now? It's hard to pick one, but Clan didn't make playoffs and Deluxe didn't play IYL, so.
That's true.
It's insanity is what it is.
Okay, so yeah, again, big props to Thello for making all of this happen. We wouldn't have a league, we wouldn't have any of this if not for the man behind the machine. So, all right, so we move on to number 2. A Jaina player, Carandio.
Talking about coming out of nowhere, so if Fenix is the come out of nowhere 1 seed from West, Carandio has to be the come out of nowhere 1 seed from East.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know this player.
I've run him a few times. So he came out with the intermediate Jaina guide, where I believe his strategy can be briefly summed up as play many attacks, use Burning Vigor whenever possible, play aces a lot, win games.
Solid advice.
Sounds like her design, right?
I've seen him a few times. I played him in Quick Match a few times. I think I've won when I played him. It was not a blowout by any stretch. He plays many characters. Jaina is just the one he's primarily been playing through IYL. I would be very surprised if he didn't stick with Jaina. So
he certainly did play 49 matches during the season as... Oh, sorry, this all-time record. Pardon me.
49 out of 56.
No, sorry, that's
49 out of 40 would be impressive.
that's his all-time record. Sorry. Yeah, well, sorry, it was 17 Jaina matches.
Okay. Hopefully he didn't lose them all. He got the 23 and 17.
It's not Yoshichi.
No, I've heard people talk about him. I've heard like discussion about like, oh yeah, who are the Jaina players around, and it's like, oh, Carandio, like that's coming up in conversation. So, you know, hey, be proud of yourself, man. Like you're getting your rep. If that's what you're intending to do is show off as a Jaina main, then yeah, I think you're, for one, your record speaks for itself. Secondly, like, yeah, I've heard people mention you.
Speaking of, so looking at our next player, is it just me or is East Realm just the low-tier hero conference?
Oh yeah, let's remember guys,
Well,
hashtag Yomi balance, right? So let's go from left to right.
Yes.
We got BBB considered worse in the game. Jaina considered maybe bottom 3, bottom 5 by a lot of the top players.
Bottom 2 universally by the DRB roundtable.
Okay.
Yep.
And then we get to this guy, who just never shuts up about how terrible this character is.
Well, you know.
Boasting a 71% win rate in IYL3 with a 25 and 10 match record. Bomber, bring up the Vendetta numbers for Animus.
We'll do that. For IYL Season 3, Vendetta. 17 wins, 6 losses.
Excellent, great. Yep.
Terrible character, guys.
Yep.
Oh,
This
and I'm
character
sorry.
sucks.
Who was the East Realm champion in IYL2? Might have been this guy.
I don't. Nah. Who does he play?
Vendetta.
Vendetta. I'm almost offended that I didn't get to play against Vendetta in the Yomi Bowl last year.
Almost offended.
Almost offended.
Almost.
Kind of glad I didn't have to. That's me and Record have gone back and forth in that fight a lot. We can't decide who wins that. It's really swingy. Like, but anyway, Animus.
The stream chat. Carpet guitar. I'm so terrible. It wraps around to amazing. It's like a stack underflow error.
Yeah, this is our Eastrom top 4 already. Like, is this fraudulent? What do you guys think? Are these the best the East has to offer? Are they playing characters far below their means to prove a point, or is that just how good Yomi Balance really is?
Yomi Balance is pretty fantastic. I play a lot of Street Fighter. I play a little bit of some other games. Yomi's still the best balanced game I played ever. This isn't even close.
He's not wrong. I'll say that.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
So that all-time record of his, with its 129.91. Like, I wonder how much of that has been exploration of the character Vendetta, because I know that my own personal record has suffered in the past, trying to stumble through these difficult characters like Midori and Vendetta. Oftentimes, you know, your Glorias, your Jainas, your BBBs, we see this consensus of these characters being weak, but we don't necessarily know how many people have taken the time to really tap into what makes them work and really get to the top tier optimal play of these characters. It could be that not enough people play Vendetta, and that's what this match record is indicative of. It could be that not a lot of people play against good Midoris that I tend to do so well, and maybe someday me and Animus will be exposed for the frauds that we are once people just discover, oh yeah, actually it is that simple to beat these guys because the characters they're playing aren't strong. Over time though, these characters are winning too much. Midori's winning too many things. Too many people have good strong Vendettas in their pocket, like Riker and Southpaw Hair. Animus continues to do well with this character. It could just very well be they're hard characters. They're harder to play than Zane, they're harder to play than Troc. Power level, you know, we can talk all day about that, and we do. But
I will say getting hit by a max hand Vendetta, if his hand allows for it, is generally not pleasant.
no, he'll two-shot you. He's nuts. Vendetta's scary. He's the assassin. Come on.
And if all else fails, just play wall dives.
Just what?
Just play wall dives or just to it?
Just to it. That's right.
Thank you, CPAP.
Yeah. Was it last
no,
combat?
Kratos.
You said next combat.
Yeah.
Don't let your dreams be
Kratos.
dreams.
That's the one.
Okay, moving on to the last member. Let's get back to top tier. Let's bring it back around.
There you are.
There he is.
There we go.
There we go. All right.
CCC also a Zane and Geiger player, in addition to Grave.
See, bring it around town. Top tier.
Nice, just how I like it.
Damn it, Bomber.
What? Hey, this guy beat me, okay? Using, guess what? Geiger and Grave.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to play like Minoka and Quince against this guy. What am I doing?
And this was the division that CKR was in as well, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's true, actually. He came 6th.
Poor guy.
Yeah, no. I'm looking at the match record, though. 30 and 15.
Yeah, he... The only thing with CCC I'll point out is that he does have a tendency to tilt a lot more frequently than he should. But when he's playing on point, he just doesn't lose combat, and it's really kind of scary.
Yeah, he's...
I've played against this guy a few times.
Quick match tournaments, leagues, like what have you done?
Do you share kangaroos?
Well, the first time that I played against this guy was many months ago. You could say it was last year, and I was teaming up with my buddy Redless.
Oh.
And Mr. CCC was teaming up with his buddy Southpaw. We challenged them to one of the fateful team draft matches. And a funny thing happened. We won.
Okay.
That's all. That's yeah, that's all there is to tell. Yeah. No, I got checkmate busted with 3 stealth aces. I regret everything.
You made a choice.
But were you at 2 health?
No, that was a different quick match where I was trying to play Minoka when I was still like learning to be a good Minoka player. And he was playing Rook, and he was just laughing and disrespecting me the whole time with such things as checkmate busters on True Life.
Well, check if he's only holding a 6th throw and he's afraid of Death Strike Dragon, then you just got to do it, right?
Choice make buster.
Yeah, that's all right.
This man is my single biggest nemesis in the entire Yomi scene.
Don't we all know it? I've seen JPEGs of aces trickling down mountains of salt in your name.
So do you sick dingoes after his kangaroos, or how does that work?
If I ever meet this man in person, I will simultaneously high-five him and punch him in the face.
It's like rock in one hand, paper in the other.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the most misleading slide in the entire presentation. The one where I select Bob199 and only put 1 character on the table.
Whoa!
And
You're not allowed to put 20?
I can't put all 20. Bob99 known for doing the epically long Battle Royale matches with, I think, CPAT. I think he played twice with CPAT or something. But Bob plays every character at a very proficient level. But when it comes to tournament record, according to the chart, he has played more Zane than anything else. So if I had to pick one, I throw Zane in there. Same thing for Fodaz. He plays a little bit of everything. He doesn't have a very well-developed tournament record. You see he's only 40 and 41. But he's got handfuls of everybody in there. So I think Grave was his highest win percentage, or the barely most highly frequently played character.
I'm bringing up the numbers for both of these characters. It appears that in the IYL Season 3, Bob actually... his most played character was DeGray by just a little bit. Okay. Just a little bit. But he played a little bit... yeah, in the season, he played a little bit of Grave, a little bit of Setsuki, a little bit of DeGray, a little bit of Valerie, a little bit of Lum, a little bit of Arg, a little bit of Quince, a little bit of Onimer, a little bit of Trock, a little bit of Persephone, even. And a little bit of
Bob's purse is scary.
Like, he just... every character. I had to fight this guy. I actually beat him 3-1, but that was, like, insane, because he was... I don't know. I just, like, zaned out his DeGray, but he's scary.
Bob Number is also known for sometimes asking the people in his match during tournament matches who he should pick for the next game.
Yeah.
That's happened before.
Because he's okay with whatever they say.
And Fodaz played... Yes, he played Grave, he played Geiger, Lum, Arg, Oni, Trock, Minoka, Gloria, and Zane. So, same sort of thing. He just plays a bunch of characters.
I have no idea. This was the match... could happen, Zane Grave. I don't know.
For all we know, this could end up being Gwen versus Jaina, and none of us will be surprised.
Yeah, it could be Gloria versus Vendetta, and we'd just be like, yep, cool, whatever.
Yep, good match. Let's see this happen.
Gwen Mirror.
Could happen.
I'm pulling for the Gwen Mirror.
Gwen Mirror. Could happen.
I'm just going to go out and say that I have insane respect for Bob199. He's, in my opinion, one of the probably top 5 Yomi players that exist. He's, in my opinion, he's great. He's fantastic. He's got a great attitude. He's always helpful. Runs his own little tournament tracker that we used for a very long time. We have like another leaderboard going on, but he keeps track of who wins these big things on like a private website of his. But just he wrote the cross-up cheat sheet, like just some real serious Yomi resources, and he's just been all around a great guy and a top competitor. And notably, he beat me in the USA versus the World match. And that made me very upset because I second-guessed myself against his Degray a lot, and I got wrecked.
I had the intense pleasure of being on this guy's team for the USA vs. the World match, and the two of us managed to completely sweep the USA team with our fantastic shoulder angels of Raziek, Inomis, and... Oh no, don't fail me now, mind. Memory? I can't remember who the other person we had was. Curses. It must have been someone like, Naiguten?
Naiguten, yeah.
It was Naiguten.
Because we were afraid of Onimaru on turn 1.
That's right, yeah. We nearly put the Oni in, actually, but we were saving him for the Zane counter pick.
Bob is another one of my locals, actually. He used to live around here. He teaches, I want to say, I forget, Thailand or Taiwan, one of the two. I don't remember which one exactly.
Taiwan, I believe.
Okay, but we actually play a bunch of Street Fighter together, and I'll beat him in Street Fighter. I don't know who wins more often when we play Yomi with each other.
Yep.
As far as this match...
I recently got trashed by Bob in Topanda League as well, because he's just really, really good. I'm going to say, through my own personal bias, 4-1 Bob999.
4-0 Bob199.
4-0.
I say 4-1. Bob numbers.
Bob's crazy.
He's crazy.
So good.
Very crazy.
Winner of this gets robots everywhere.
Yep, and then who knows what they'll bring against a robot.
I'm not even going to try to guess. I didn't want to guess what this match is going to be.
Right on. Okay, no so point. You see that little field down there? It's this head-to-head record that's been completely useless for this entire thing. Yeah. I really thought we would see more of more stuff happening. We get to use it this time. I think Mystic Juicer played against Wampa in the Lucky Lum lottery or something.
Oh.
Because the only thing that I see is like a win with Grave, a win with Geiger, a win with something. It's weird. But it makes no sense otherwise.
Mystic Juicer has been our statistician throughout this entire cast, basically. Bomber is sort of our... I guess he's the stat retrieval guy. Mystic Juicer is the man who's been putting everything in the charts. He also created the YouTube series on how to improve at Yomi.
Getting good at Yomi.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Collected links to important Yomi threads, general all-around hype machine. Mystic Juicer's awesome. I've met him in person. He's just a fantastic guy, and one of our new ambassadors in our Fantasy Strike Ambassador program.
I've had the intense pleasure of casting with him before, and it's beautiful every time. We cast the Yomi 2 Yomi season in there. Let me try that again. Yomi International Yomi League Season 2 Yomi Bowl thing.
That's right.
Oh yeah, you were my competing cast.
Yes. Well, we weren't actually streaming. We were just recording for pleasure, and it was a lot of fun. Great guy.
As you can tell, I'm pretty sure his only serious tournament character is Rook. He's taken out one counter pick ever that was not Rook. He just plays Rook otherwise.
And that's just because he has had a really hard time against specifically Thelos BBB.
Well, he has played, according to the chart... Oh, well, yeah, we all know he plays Onimaru as well, or as he refers to him, Orange Rook.
Orange Rook.
Orange Rook. But yeah, it does say that during the season he also played that little bit of Valerie versus Clan Nishoy. It didn't work out for him, sadly. And he's even played a little bit of Grave, which is interesting. So I don't know who he was fighting against in that one. Just 4 matches.
And it's easy to get overshadowed by the fact that Thello finished with 1 loss. Mystic Juicer finished with 2.
Yes.
And very strong player. Yeah, and one of them was to Thello, most likely.
He just played ridiculously well this season, and he's been playing for a very long time. He was in my division and Thello's division for IYL3 in West, and both of us, I think, wound up beating him, and Juicer finished relatively low in the standings that year, and he's just come out and made a humongous improvement and just been playing ridiculously well this season.
Yeah, I love the guy. He's fantastic. Wampa, DeGray.
Wampa is actually really strong. I've played with him a decent amount. He's seen my matches a lot recently. He's rumored to be a member of the Yomi Illuminati, but he's just a very good player. Although his BBB wins more than his DeGray does, interestingly enough.
Oh, really?
As of late, he's been winning a lot more games with BBB than with DeGray.
That could be really bad for Juice.
I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a little bit of Robot against Mystic Juicer.
Quite probably.
In the case that we don't, what do you guys think of the Rook versus DeGray battle for Morningstar Sanctuary battle? This is like it's a really tough fight, I think, on both sides. Like, it's one where neither side necessarily feels comfortable.
Both of them potentially have quite a bit of health. Both of them will probably crack 100 HP throughout the fight.
Yeah.
You have Rook has great throws unless DeGray has a 7, and then DeGray has the best throw. DeGray has the great dodge, but then Rook has both 3 and throws to knock him down so he can't use it. It's a really interesting fight. Both sides actually want to block quite a bit. Yep. Neither one actually, even though DeGray has the DeGramage, neither side does a huge percentage of either player's health bar at a time. It's a very back and forth fight. It's a very slow, grindy matchup. It's very, very, very slow.
Essentially, from Rook's perspective of the match, he wants to throw probably a fair amount while blocking a fair amount. He wants to throw and scout pile bunkers because from DeGray's side, you gotta. Your ace dodge isn't going to do a lot because, you know, Rook doesn't attack heaps. So you're going to need to be doing a lot of pokes and trying to get that bunker raw. And once you hit that bunk, boom, you get to shave off some of Rook's massive life. And that's essentially it. It's a lot of poking and a lot of throwing from DeGray's side. But with the blocks as well, just to go block is like fine.
Interestingly enough, troublesome rhetoric naming block is actually perfectly acceptable from DeGray in this matchup because Rook has no dodges.
Yes.
Yeah, and then what's scary too is that pile bunker against a guy with no dodges. You think that it's a relatively safe move. It's only going to lose to attacks, right? Wrong. Stonewalled pile bunkers reflect the full damage that the pile bunker would have done.
It's not enjoyable.
Yeah, if
including moral high ground.
Moral high ground. That's the thing. So if DeGray decides to go low hand, 6-7 cards in hand, decides he wants to play a pile bunker, gets that thing stonewalled, he's going to take 21 or some ridiculous exorbitant number back in his face. Same thing with like the raw final arbiters and all that. It's just,
you just don't even play that in that matchup, or you're just asking for trouble. Like,
so yeah,
ooh,
both
and
sides
it also gets outsped by the wall of mines. Sorry.
Yeah, both sides just have this intense damage potential, but it comes in these big risky chunks, which is why I feel like neither player feels safe. Like, Rook doesn't want to throw because he doesn't want to get 7 poked or pile bunkered into ace-ace. DeGray doesn't want to dodge and play defensively because it's easy to assemble Checkmate Buster in this matchup. Just,
and then Wall of Vines beats everything that DeGray has except for Spirit Justice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
well, and dodges, of course, but, you know.
And then hopefully Mystic Juicer has enough. And hopefully Mystic Juicer has enough experience in the BBB fight at this point. I know as a Midori player, you know, I'm always hitting the punching bag against Geiger, you know, like all day long. I think that's Juicer's thing too. Is if he's in the training room, if he's in the lab, as they say in the fighting game community, he's fighting BBB. He's just working on that so that he doesn't just lose that when he runs into a good one in these hype situations like this. Winner plays CCC.
That's going to be interesting.
I'm actually interested to see who CCC picks against Mystic Juicer Rook if Mystic Juicer advances.
Very likely Geiger. Remember that CCC was primarily a Geiger player back in the day because he actually made it to Grandmaster ahead of Southpaw Hair when they were buddies, and Southpaw Hair was like, yeah, I'm a really good Geiger, and then CCC beat him to Grandmaster in Quick Match, and Southpaw is a little bit sad about that. But yeah, I fully expect a Geiger pick to come out of CCC if Mr. Juicer picks Rook.
For this fight, I'm going to be the upset king. We have the 12 seed against a 5. I'm going to say Wampa takes this set 4-3.
Ooh. Bummer.
Wow. Tough. I think Wampa is a bit of a crazy man. Mr. Juicer is a little bit more solid, and I think if he plays solid with 100 HP, even versus the robot, I think he has a decent chance. Or if he even practices a counter pick to the robot, I think Mr. Juicer could potentially take this, but it's going to be a hard slog the whole way. I think it'll be 4-3 Mr. Juicer favor.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with air horns on this one. 4-3 Juicer. He's got to prepare for the BBB though. But
yeah.
The momentum that he's had in the season and just been playing so well, he had a couple speed bumps. I mean, you run into Thello BBB. What are you gonna do? And what he lost to Thello and Klein Toy. Is that who he lost to?
Yeah, that's. Oh, hold on. Sorry, Juicer. Pardon me. I'll just bring it up.
It was Mirkwood Marsh, right?
Yeah, I'm just Mr. Juicer. No, no, sorry. I already checked. He lost to Pickles. He beat Klein Toy.
BBB.
The other BB player.
Okay, there we go. That said, like Wampa's probably has to bring BBB, and if Juicer can turn that around, then he can take the set 4-3. So I'm gonna go with Mr. Mystic. Moving on, this is a fight that I really want to watch.
Yes.
Battle of the Blondes.
Battle of the Blondes. Oh boy. Hartley Chan.
Yeah, Kohai versus the Cap. Yeah.
Another one of those came out of nowhere sort of players.
Yeah.
Who entered just this little tournament. I believe it was feature film fight.
Yep.
Feature
and
film
only
festival
lost
fight.
to 1 and 2. You know.
FFFF.
Yeah, he lost in round 1 and then went, okay, let's go.
Wins everywhere. I believe he finished 4th.
Yeah.
Oh, but the Valerie player. So I've been saying forever, since the start of V2, hey, I think Valerie's this really good character who does a lot of damage and can speed herself up, and in general is just this really obnoxious character to play against. And then, well, everyone told me, oh, you're crazy, she doesn't beat anyone relevant, she has this horrible, almost unwinnable fight against Grave. And she has a hard time against Strock and a hard time against a Gray, and then Hartley has this randomly huge win rate in Valerie versus Grave, and then Valerie's just been winning a lot because of Hartley and recently Klein Toy, so Hartley's sort of been proving me right.
Yeah, and Mad King has it right when he says that a character can become strong in the meta if it has favorable matchups across the meta. Like we are seeing less Grave lately, and even though that's not this unwinnable thing, and Hartley's proved that with just stellar play against Grave in leagues and tournament sets. But Valerie is not bad against Geiger, is not bad against Trock, is not bad against Zane, and is not bad against DeGray, really. She just does well against the people we see the most.
And then, her worst match would be Lum, I would probably say, and we haven't really seen a lot of Lum play in the highest echelon of play at the moment.
So yeah, it's almost like the time was just right for a Valerie player to just rise from obscurity and to succeed the way that Hartley has. So yeah, I'm super hype about Valerie this time around,
And then she's also the best character for beating up on the so-called lower tier characters. On my matchup chart, she, I believe, is tied for 2nd overall matchup spread. Hey. And a part of that is because against Vendetta and Gwen, she just gets to go to town on them. And to a lesser extent, the robot, assuming that the Valerie player gets a solid draw, the robot has a very, very hard time dealing with the stream of aces.
Yep.
Lots of orbs.
And meanwhile, the Cap's Geiger.
So the Cap, I want to say, finished 2nd last year in his division in West Realm. That was my division, along with Nemesis Candon, myself, Mystic Juicer. So, quite a few strong players, and he just had this humongous streak where until the second to last week of the season, he just wasn't losing with Geiger, and he didn't need to pick anyone else.
Mm-hmm. And it was for that reason that I was very, very happy that Razik beat him. I was not looking forward to playing against him in the West Realm Finals, and to be perfectly honest, I really do feel that if Cap had not lost to Razik, I would not have won the Yomi Bowl. At that particular time, I was not ready for a Geiger player. I was not ready for it. Maybe now I could do it. At the time, the Cap would have just rolled right all over me.
And his Geiger play is pretty solid. Even watching his match against Nemesis Camden yesterday, which I had the pleasure to stream with you on this channel, it was like Cycloid Revolution was this unblockable 0.0 speed move that does 20 damage whenever he plays it. And then King is like unblockable half the time when he plays it. It's absurd.
Yeah, and in yesterday's match, he basically just rolled the dice one time and lost the set 4-3. With the dodge into quad aces into the Joker. That was it was a pretty, not known Joker, but it was extremely likely, but he would have ended the set right there if it had landed. So that was the only, like, it wasn't even a slip up really, it was just a decision that he made. So it was just, even in the Geiger Grave fight, which is a tough one, still nearly pulled it off against Nemcon, who's one of the best Graves we got.
In this matchup, by the way, I have said before, I will say again, and I will keep saying, this is my favorite matchup in the entire game of the 210 matchups in Yomi. There's just so many things going on over who's strong when, what resource management's important. Both characters have can just blow up the other one in 2 combats if they're allowed to assemble that and if they land the hit. It's crazy. It's who's the rush down at any given point. It's just all sorts of crazy good things happen in this matchup, and it's so much fun to analyze, and it's so much fun to watch, and I like playing it on both ends.
Yeah, out of all the matches we've shown so far, this is the one that I refuse to miss. Like, I am going to cast this. This is going to happen, because I really, really, really want to see this.
Fair enough, fair enough. I checked out the results for Cap's season play, and funnily enough, during the season, he actually played more games as DeGray than Geiger.
Oh, wow.
As of late, he's been playing a lot of Geiger.
20 DeGray matches and only 11 Geiger matches.
We'll put it this way, he's still the hardcore champion, and Geiger holds the belt. If anybody knows what the hardcore title is.
I'm interested in seeing DeGray versus Val as well. I've always claimed that matchup is closer to even than it looks. My personal favorite anecdote, obviously the multiple of anecdote is not data, but I played against Malorian Thugs DeGray when I was in my very big Valerie phase, and I gave him, I want to say, 48 health off of Troublesome Rhetoric, didn't win combat on any of the times I gave him 48 health, and still won. Through a 138 HP DeGray with 2 Jokers. Because Valerie's damage output is just absurd if she gets to land it.
Yeah, no, every time Valerie lands a 2, I just hear Yipes scream, "Marvel, baby!" Every time. Because those combos are just ridiculous. Like, just doing 42 off of a poke.
A poke that can be sped up to reversal speed.
Yeah, a super safe hit confirm with a big hand is just insane. And her throw damage is great. Like, just... I was actually a huge fan of Valerie in D1. I don't not play her in V2 because of burst of speed, it's just because I love Midori. But I still will pull the character out every once in a while. She's such a blast to play, I love her.
I'm one of those strange few people... I'm one of those strange few people where Valerie actually has to be one of my least favorite characters to play and to play against. But I mean, I fully respect Hartley. I think Hartley is amazing. I just personally hate Valerie.
And people have seen my salt when I lose to Valerie, when I lost to Clan to Twain to Panda. She's not fun to lose against, because you just feel like you couldn't have done anything better, and then she just blew you up.
She's faster than me, I play rock, she plays rock, she wins. I play paper, she plays scissors, and somehow, you know, I just die anyway. It's just like, it feels bad when she's running you down.
I have a terrible record, especially since in nearly every team draft tournament, I pick Quince for my team because I think Quince is very strong in the team draft format, and pretty much without fail, I run into a Valerie and die.
I know my strategy against you in the future, then.
Thank you.
Alright, so...
Only in team draft tournaments.
So if Hartley wins this, does Val just get blown up by Jaina, or does it go the other way around?
Val Jaina, I want Hartley to win just so we can see high-level Val versus Jaina in playoffs.
Because that's one of the other matchups that's being requested, and there's a thread going right now about let's pick a matchup and talk about it. And Satsuki Zane, obviously, we've talked about that to death, and maybe we'll get back on the same subject. But some other requests have been for who wins Valerie versus Jaina.
Oh boy. As far as this matchup goes, I'm going to say, oh my god, this is hard. I almost don't want to have to pick this one, but one of these two has to lose in either this matchup, which I love, or DeGray versus Valerie, which I also think is a pretty interesting fight for similar reasons. God, I'm going to have to say, I think Hartley takes this 4-3. And whoever wins, it's going to be a 4-3. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way.
Okay.
I definitely agree that it's going to be super close. I think Cap has the slight edge here, just because he's been playing a really long time, very experienced against so many people, and he would beat the likes of Deluxe and Bob in certain circumstances for NXT1. I'm going to give it to Cap, 4-3.
I'm going to say it's either going to go down one way or the other. It's either going to be the Cap goes just full-on temporal distortion insane and wins this like 4-0. Because sometimes when he gets on a roll, his reads are just beyond ridiculous and you cannot shut his Geiger down. Like if his Geiger knows you, if he can just feel every time he should time spiral, feel every time he needs to block your reversals, like I've been in the situations against him with that and I've seen him do that to other people and he just shreds you if he gets inside your head. If he can get inside Hartley's head, it's a 4-0. If Hartley's going to win this, it's going to be a 4-3 slog. So, I'm going to be the crazy guy and say Cap 4-0. As much as I love Hartley.
Fair enough.
Alright.
Moving on. Bomber678 versus Zeddy.
Hi.
So, when I was putting this together and I showed Bomber this slide, he was like, "Where's the bull? I don't see a bull in there." I'm like, well, I looked at the data, and you've been doing better with Zane and Minelker, despite what was it, a tournament where you had like Minelker had like a 38% win rate or something abysmal.
Yeah. I've been trying to champion this character for the last this entire year in Summer Smash and in IYL, and I even tried a little bit in feature film. I'm finding it really hard to champion this character. I want to. He's so much fun. He's really hard to play well. Oh, hey, and in Solo Showdown, of course.
He's only one for me, but I only play him in one matchup.
Yeah.
It's when you play him in that one matchup that bad things happen for the Geiger.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah, well, poor Southpaw here.
So, Bomber, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I play top tier characters. And Minelka.
Is Minelka top tier? If Bomber plays him, then surely he is. Silence.
Sorry, my brother came into my room. Yeah, so I play a lot of Zane, obviously, because I just as soon as I saw that character, I was like, yes, I love this character, and he happens to be really strong, so woohoo. Same thing happened to Troc. He also happened to be really strong, and I instantly connected with him, and then, I'm not going to lie, I picked up Minelka, the other one. I picked up Minelka, Geiger, and Grave because I like their aesthetic, and they're all top tier characters. I also play Gloria as a counter pick, and yeah, I'm a shameless counter picker. I ain't gonna lie.
So please explain why you play Phoenix Wright in Marble then.
Character loyalty.
He liked the aesthetic. He just did it. He derped into top tier in Yomi, he says. It wasn't his fault. It just happened.
Yeah, it is true that most of the characters that are low tier, I just happen to not like how they play as well. It just happened to be a playstyle thing. I also play Quince, I guess, because I like how he plays, and he's kind of mid.
Quince is question mark tier.
The official BRD character.
Yes. Versus Mr. Zedgy over here. I know he plays good characters, and by good I mean BBB.
He plays well.
He plays BBB very well. Yeah. He is a fantastic fellow with his fantastic the emoticons for every character and the ZGD BBB objection.
Oh yeah, he's got the best avatar on the forums for sure.
Yes, it's awesome.
And this was one of the 3-4-5 fight in this division was completely insane as well. I believe it came down to ZGD, Kratos, if I'm saying that correctly, which I doubt it, and Zonar. And this was all sorts of crazy. It came down to the last couple weeks for who even got to be in the scramble, let alone where we've gotten to now. Meanwhile, Bomber was just picking top tier. Well, he was in a different division. He was just ignoring things.
Sorry. Yeah.
And he was just drinking a coffee and trying to figure out, okay, which of these 3 people do I get to play?
In ZGD's division, which also contained Hartley, in fact, there were 5 people who finished with an 8-4 record.
Sadly, Nyguten was the one odd man out.
Yes. The Persephone hero, he went 8-4 with solo Persephone in season play.
Wow.
Not a single different character was played.
And what's funny, if you've been paying attention to this stream, the only characters we haven't represented on here are Onimaru, Persephone, and Gwen.
So close, Nyguten. So close.
17 out of the 20 are being championed by top players in our game right now, so...
And Kratos versus Ajeti was not only the 3-4 match, it was also the last round match, where had Kratos won, Nyguten would have slipped into the 5.
Oh, wow. So ZGD beat him twice. Woo!
He definitely deserves to be here.
Well played. It's going to be a hard match for me, because actually, traditionally, I don't like playing against BB. Like, I recognize that I play a lot of characters who are pretty good against him, but he's one of those characters that I don't feel comfortable playing against ever. And I have a reasonable record, right? You know, I've played a few BBB players. I'm just never certain who to pick, is my biggest thing. It's like, I could pick this character or this one, but they all do roughly the same thing. So I don't even know who I'm going to be playing. Like, it's still up in the air.
So basically conceding on stream that ZGD should play BBB just to tell you.
Definitely.
This could be the advanced mind game.
I don't know how to play against... Look, Pickles from my BRD crew, he plays BBB, and he knows he can beat me with BBB any day of the week, doesn't matter who I'm playing. Pickles will just destroy me. Because he's good, really good BBB, and he knows I can't play it against BBB properly.
Winner this gets to play against Enemies.
Oh, jeez. I don't want to win just so I don't have to play against enemies.
Much as I love you, Bomber, I kind of want ZGD to win, because either we'll get to see BBB versus Vendetta, Geiger versus Vendetta, which has been one of the very fun, controversial matchups where me and Riker champion the Geiger end of this, and like everyone else favors Vendetta.
It seems like anybody who has a recurable 2.2 option, everyone automatically says, oh, they beat Geiger.
But then Geiger has a 2.0 ace that beats blocks too, which is like, oh, he has this thing.
Nah, dude, Cycloid. What's TSH?
Oh, both. He has both. They're both good.
Sometimes he has 4 aces and can play both of them in the same combo. Well, actually, that's impossible. He has the option half the time.
As a Geiger player, I feel grimy when I get to do that.
And your aces hit a block, and then you throw and do more aces? Like, come on, what is this?
Witchcraft.
You're some kind of, like, Toho boss. How do you deal with that?
It's so fast, and yet it's still so comboable.
Yep.
So, I love ZGD. I kind of want to see him win. I'm going to say Bomber takes this 4-2.
Thank you.
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and agree with that. Bomber has Pickles to train against. He has the support group with which to get him through this. And he does play a lot
of just to mock me.
Yeah, and he does play a lot of characters that do well against BBB. So, this could go either way. I'm gonna give it a 4-3 Bomber though, just because I think that BBB gets in his head sometimes, and if that happens, he could go down. He can go down 0-3 in the set quick. And
I will comment, in my personal matches against Bomber and casuals, he also does not terribly like playing against my Geiger, so we'll have to see.
And the other thing that you have
I'm good against most Geigers. I picked up Minolka for that exact reason and beat Southpaw here with it.
Yeah. And the last thing you got to say about Bomber is that the longer a set goes, the more emotional and intense he gets. So it's always
That's
fun.
true.
It's always really fun. Like, if he goes down 0-3 against BBB, he's gonna go Super Saiyan, and from there, like, who knows what can happen.
That has happened.
And if he'll record his own match, and he'll be screaming with no one listening.
Oh yeah,
Is how hype he gets.
That's why I like to play my matches during the day when everybody's out, like at work and uni or whatever, because I can just, woof, I go off.
So if Bomber wins and plays Enemies, that would be the Tapanda organizer and the Tapanda actual organizer playing against each other.
The Tapanda organizer and the Tapanda figurehead. Whichever one is which, you make the call.
Oh, no.
Hey, Enemies messes with me way too much, so I gotta have a little bit of fun with him too.
Aren't you like the fake people's champion or something, according to him?
Yeah, no, apparently if I have to use the restroom, then he quotes and says that, oh yeah, it's always available Leontes. Sometimes has to pee, therefore is a liar.
Oh, yes. Because he said, now that you're working full-time for Celine, you're always available.
I try to pee. Sometimes I have to pee. But anyway, speaking of Toho and shoot 'em ups and those kind of things, this actually brings us to the end of our playoff preview.
We have not gone through our East Realm favorites yet, actually.
Oh, the favorites. That's right. We're not done yet. We're almost done. So yeah, let's talk about who's gonna win this whole thing then.
So, my East Realm favorite, I believe I intimated this to you in the stream, and I'm sorry, Bomber, I have to go with Thello for my favorite to come out of East Realm.
Look, it's okay.
Yeah, Proc and BBB is a really strong range.
And a little bit of Zane if he really feels the need to hit that button.
It's just BBB to kill anyone who dares offend him. And if it doesn't work, okay, Troc Zane in the pocket, whatever. And Manelker too. He brings Manelker out to beat the Jaina counterpick. So Corandio's got to watch out too. Bomber, thoughts on who's going to win East Realm?
Look, definitely, I'm going to say my favorite is the man himself, Bob Numbers. He's super strong, plays well, plays lots of characters. He has a counterpick for every scenario. He has a crazy degree for anything, really. And I think he's definitely ready to take it this year. I honestly think he can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, Bob199 is like, I think he's like the infiltration of Yomi right now. He just plays so many characters at a proficient level and is always just there in the top. I fear him. He's one of the players I fear most. He's on my OGN list. Yeah, Bob199.
So, we have Leontes' favorites would be Fra Arolo and Bob Numbers. Of those two, if they were to meet in Yomi Bowl, who would you have winning?
Bob199.
So my Yomi Bowl is Raziek versus Thello, and I will pick Raziek to be the champion in that matchup.
I like that. Yeah, I'm saying Bob versus Raziek. I think was my official prediction. Even though I wish Fra could make it, the bracket's just not being kind to him. Yeah, I think Bob versus Raz. Bob doesn't play a lot of Troc, but like that would be a match for the ages, I think, to watch Bob and Raziek play. I don't know if they've ever played against each other.
They have, and when they did play, it was another one of those Zane mirrors that Raziek just doesn't lose.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because Bob likes to
watching
challenge the goggles. I think if Bob doesn't try and challenge the goggles, I think if he just sticks to what he knows and plays out of his mind, I think Bob can take it. I think it's well within his power. I would put it at like 4-3.
Yeah, that would be an incredible Yomi
victory.
Bowl to see Raziek and Bob199. That's exciting.
I would love to see it. He could even pick Onimaru. Like that's a thing that he could do.
Oh yeah, of course.
And just
and Bob did beat Raziek 4-1 into Panda League.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah, so I don't know. Raz doesn't want to lose IYL this time. I think he wants to be the first guy to repeat.
I think you're
Well, not
right.
repeat, but the first multiple
Oh yeah,
champion.
you're right. Yeah, 2-time champion. And I will try to put a stop to that best I can.
It's going to be big.
Okay, so that would be the final stages of our IYL3 playoff preview. We've shown off all the matchups, and now you should have a good idea of who's going to be playing who. We're going to be trying to stream as many of these matchups as possible, so if you're mentioned in the stream as one of the players, please post in the tournament hype threads to let us know when these things will go down, because
of course,
I'm always available, right?
Leontes and myself will be in the conversation, so we'll be doing our best to catch those matches from our respective realms and get them streamed, played, probably mostly on this channel if we can, but Leontes is not actually always available. Spoiler, don't tell him I said that. So sometimes they'll appear on my stream.
Yeah. Okay. And we have one final thing to say, and that is thank you to CKR for creating the International Yomi League. Without him, we wouldn't be here right now talking about all this hype stuff. He is a tournament organizer who started the International Yomi League in the wake of Jenga Jam's first Summer Smash, when CKR didn't know for sure if Yomi had this competitive scene that was willing to be tapped into, and he decided to give it a shot anyways. Got a small turnout for the first league. Thought the next time, hey, we'll try it again, but I think maybe we'll get like 16 people. Ended up getting, what was it, 48?
47,
Yeah,
I think.
47? I think we had Clan Natoy dropped at the last second, jerk. Didn't play. So I was so looking forward to playing him in the actual, in the Flagstone City. Starts International Yomi League 2, I came aboard because I was like, hey man, you're gonna need some help if this thing keeps on growing. Halfway through the season, he's having these thoughts of, I don't know if I'm gonna keep going with it, I don't know if we're gonna do a third season, I'm just not sure if it's really just worth the effort and the time. And I think in his latest interview, and I was there that time that this happened, was we had a match, Southpaw Hair versus someone. I don't remember if it was Hydro or I don't remember what it was. What's that? Oh, never mind.
Sorry, I was just blowing on my glasses. Just cleaning.
I was like, are you whispering me a name, trying to help me out here?
No, sorry.
There was like 24 spectators in a match that Southpaw Hair played in the International Yomi League 2, and CKR thought, there is something to this. There's a community here. There's something big that I want to be a part of. And so he didn't give up. And, I just wanted to be a part of whatever I could do to make the Yomi competitive scene happen, and that's why I joined up. Season 3, explosive turnout. We had 100 signups. Unfortunately, retention was not as good as we expected, but still had like 80-something players, right, who finished out the season. Maybe like 89 or something like that.
Something like that.
I'm kind of terrified of the next Yomi season.
Yeah, with the Steam release of Yomi bringing us a lot of new players, and people who didn't play before saw how hype Season 2 was and wanted to be a part of the action in Season 3.
That was me. Well, no, actually, I was in Season 2. That's right.
Yeah, and then as the thing just continued to grow, we just needed to expand the roster, and then brought Bomber678 and Courier on, who's not on this cast, unfortunately.
Courier's a lovely man.
He's in an even crazier time zone. We are truly an international Yomi League.
Absolutely.
IYL3 running strong, about to hit the playoffs. CKR is stepping down from his position as tournament organizer for International Yomi League. So I wanted to thank him for all of his hard work. Everyone just, you see him on chat. I think he's still going to be around. He's going to be playing in events and such, but we all got to thank him for making this all possible. So, yeah.
If you look at his tournament roster, when he played super seriously, he had quite the range of strong characters. I played against his Setsuki twice in Summer Smash. One, I was the only person he lost to. I beat him in winners and then beat him again in losers, in both times in Setsuki versus Quince. And since then, I'd just seen him go off on some people whenever he would play them and just never be wrong. It was like kind of scary. I want to say that Summer Smash was his first serious tournament, and I think people were starting to write off Setsuki. She'd be considered, along with Trock, to be the strongest character in the game, but then people were like, well, maybe she's just a little overrated. She seems to lose combat a lot. or when she doesn't lose combat a lot, but when she loses, she just gets destroyed because she has 70 health. And then CKR just wasn't wrong in combat and just ran over almost everybody he ran into. And since then, he picked up Zane and Onimaru and Grave, and just played very, very strong with all those characters. And I would have loved to have seen him pull out one extra game and make it into playoffs this year.
Yes, as for my personal experience with CKR, I definitely actually ran into him in the first Summer Smash. I remember I was looking through my bracket and I was like, oh, I have to fight a Setsuki, and then something, and then a Setsuki. It was like I beat Mad King, I beat CPAT, and then I lost to CKR. That was the first time I ever met him. And then in Season 2, when I entered the first International Yomi League that I played in, he actually made the huge sacrifice as an American player to actually be playing in the time zone of me and the Japanese players, because he wanted to even out the divisions, which was like, wow, thank you. And I beat him, just like swept him 3-0, which was weird. And then I did it again this season when he was in my division again. But he's certainly a very strong player. I just happen to somehow have his number at the moment. But strong guy, awesome man. Thank you so much, CKR. You're the best.
All right, so that about wraps it up. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be uploading this video to the new Serlin Games YouTube channel. I'll be posting a link to that on the forums and in the description for this video. As always, like, subscribe, check us out on Twit and Redder, two very famous and usable forms of social media. Twitter and Reddit, Facebook, all that stuff. Thanks again for checking it out. Hope to see you in, if you don't play in International Yomi League, hope to see you in Season 4, which should be starting up a couple months after International Yomi League 3 concludes, which this is even going to take a few months too. So again, thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evening.